Well, these two have got a very, very tough act to follow. Rob Cross posting an average of 107.44 in his 6-1 demolition of the two-time world champion Adrian Lewis. Jelle Klaasen is a former world champion himself. He takes on one of the most prolific champions of the modern era. James Wade has won pretty much everything bar the big one, and James Wade certainly looking a much improved player in the early parts of 2018. A 6-3 winner against Steve Beaton yesterday as well. And you have to say as well, a firm favourite to win this one. He's odds on across the board. Jelle Klaasen is very much the outsider at around about 6-4 or so. 7-4 in places. But let's not forget, Jelle Klaasen, this time last year on the European Tour, could do very little wrong. 3 semi-finals and a final in his first 4 Euro Tour events of 2017, but he went off the boil fairly quickly, you have to say. And it'll be interesting to see how he starts out in 2018. Good matchup between these two. Klaasen against Wade know each other inside out. They've played each other countless times.
First leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
And it's James Wade with the honour of getting things started. I'm Rob Malarkey, watching this latest second round match on day 2 of the European Darts Open. Paul Nicholson back alongside me for this one.
Thanks, Rob. Intriguing encounter to say the least. There's a lot to talk about with these two at the start of the Euro Tour this year. Jelle, obviously new darts this year, signed with a different company. Last year he was using a very groovy dart, lots of swales and grooves everywhere. He's in a smooth dart now with a conventional big wing flight. Says he loves them. I believe him. He's beaten me with these darts this year. He was very, very useful as well. Obviously last year he had surgery on his wrist, which was much needed. His wrist was in a lot of pain. Even though he was playing so well, he needed to go under the knife and get it fixed. His wrist looks a lot better now. But with Wade, marked improvement in 2018 already.
39.
Qualified for the first 4 European Tour events. Technical changes in the action. People have had words with him and said, you need to stop doing certain things. We were talking about it last night. The little hop that had come into the dart
92.
seems to be eliminated a little bit now, which is good. And he seems to have brought the address point in front of his face down 39. Because it was getting very, very high.
86.
And this leg has proved that he's in pretty good shape. Doesn't have to go for 18 bull here. And now he's got double 7.
78.
Okay, well, he left himself double 4 instead.
He didn't have to do that on 68. He could have easily gone for treble 16 to leave double 10 his favourite, but double's a double. And this is for the first leg.
Yeah, well, the danger is, though, he could have easily found himself in the madhouse, but he's avoided that particular pitfall. Just to further embellish what I was saying at the outset about these two having met countless times before, I must stress, I mean, sometimes I don't read too much into head-to-head standings, but I think this is worth listening to because they've met each other 27 times in the past. Wade has won 22 of them. That is, I would say, a hold on a player.
97.
Wade has a hold on a lot of players. He's hard to beat. And if you haven't played him in the last 3 years, it could be even worse because his form has been somewhat sketchy over the last 2 or 3 seasons. But I say again, I look at that first dart and the follow-up dart there. That is a very, very good sign for James Wade fans because it looks very old school. When he was winning titles in 2007, 2008, 2009, he was doing that with alarming regularity. And he was hitting 9 darts what seemed like every month. And he's never changed his equipment. Always been the same flight. Always been the same short white stem. The same barrel. He may have tweaked the barrel and put a little bit of micro grip at the top. The only thing that's changed is the pointer's got longer.
123. Change your require 124.
But again, he's in command.
Yes, he certainly is. 104. So looking at treble 18 here for the bullseye. He's found the treble 18. Left himself the bull.
99. The earlier required 96.
60.
Back in, yeah.
Double 8 or 2 double 19s. Was the right shot to go for. Could have been double 18, double top, but I like double 19, double 19.
Yeah, and I've
there.
seen him do that countless times as well, Jelle Klaasen. Wade back on his favourite double 10, but he's come inside for double 5 instead. He had
20.
a slight distraction with that first start, but Klaasen may well level things up here. Now it's double 7 for Klaasen instead, and we are level at 1 apiece. 3 of those meetings, by the way, all last year. Sorry, 3 of those meetings last year, I should say. One of them was in the European Tour. It was in the German Masters semi-finals, and Klaasen actually won that one 6-3, but Wade won the other 2. Klaasen could do very little wrong on the European stage at the start of 2017.
134.
But like I say, went off the boil, won just 1 match in his next 5, and that was a 6-0 win over Rob Cross. Not many people have done that since.
100.
No, they haven't.
That was in round 2 in Vienna.
Well, with every little bit of genius that we see in the darting spectrum, as you say, a 180 from Klaasen, there are anomalies out there. Look at the final in Sindelfingen last year where Peter Wright beat Michael van Gerwen 6-0. Nobody expected that. Jelle Klaasen 6-0 against Rob Cross. Nobody expected that.
42.
Go even further back. Phil Taylor being beaten by someone like Aidan Kirk, who was only just starting out in his career. He then beat Peter Wright after that, so it was no fluke. But
26.
That's darts. It's one of the reasons we love it. It's very unpredictable.
We should also say, by the way, that Klaasen's 2017 was disrupted by surgery on his wrist as well. He played through the pain barrier for much of the year, and that was probably a factor in his early exit from the Premier League as well.
Absolutely right.
87.
He didn't play between Gibraltar and Hamburg, and well, these two met in the Premier League last season. They were both involved in the big one.
Tops for Wade. Good marker. Perfectly used.
James Wade. One look at the yellow to throw first. Game on.
Doesn't look very stressed on the hockey these days, James. I remember a couple of games he played on the Euro Tour last year, and he was losing his temper at certain things. He was getting involved in little scuffles with players. Things weren't good in Camp Wade. Things have definitely been steadied up
100
in the last few months.
Well, his reaction after he lost to Darren Johnson in Hildesheim when he was 5-1 up. I mean, he looked absolutely devastated. He beat a very hasty retreat that day.
Well, he picked a fight with Mark Webster in Sindelfingen, and he was out of order. He really was. It was very uncharacteristic.
100.
I think that may have been the point where he said, you know what, maybe something's got to be done here. Because his career was going downhill
100.
faster than a downhill skier. And to James's credit, what he's done in the last few months, I applaud it.
Yeah. He's had a lot to contend with. He's had recent disappointments. First round defeats at the World Championship.
After he looked like he was really struggling.
Well, he had to do some stretches on the stage before he made his way off.
54.
Sudovic and Hughes on the way next. This is the one section that really needs to be sorted out. Everything else has been pretty much ironed out. The top 3 sections have been sorted out as far as the last 16 lineup is concerned. Still a few
41.
either-ors in this particular segment of the draw.
We could definitely say that James Wade hasn't had the easiest route to get here. Every single person he's played in this tournament, including qualifying, has won a major.
Your good self included.
I was first.
John Park.
John Park, world champion. Steve Beaton, world champion. Jelle Klaasen, world champion.
And Smith or Johnson to come.
Neither a major winner, but still very tough. Got to get rid of Klaasen first.
Well, Michael Smith might not be a major winner, but he's had plenty of success on the Euro Tour. 4 titles to his name in Europe.
We don't see Wadey down at double 16 territory very much, but that's very clinical. I saw James in the practice room a couple of hours ago, and he was
96.
Extremely quiet. He used to be the kind of player that would chunter onto everybody, have a bit of banter, but incredibly workmanlike these days.
100.
He's got his agent with him this weekend, Steve Mottershead.
And he's also taken the time just to
94.
escape from the hub that we find ourselves in, because we're very close to the hotel, which is just over the road. The arena is right here as well. The practice room is on site, of course, as well. But Wade, I think, perhaps wise just to take a bit of time out and go for a stroll down by the river the other day, just to lose yourself for a couple of hours or so. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
125.
That's what I did this morning. You went for a run after I did. I was 8:15 this morning going for a run down the river. We spend a lot of time indoors as commentators and players. We spend time recycling the same air, and it's nice to go outside and just give the lungs a bit of a fresh
workout,
breather. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100.
More guys from the darts
161.
going to the gym these days and keeping themselves in trim to possibly play long days on Sundays on the Euro Tour, and only one of these guys will be doing that tomorrow.
There's certainly
90.
a different mentality amongst a lot of players nowadays.
And he's the ball now, Klaasen. And it was shielded. He had to move, but he needed a bit more juice on it.
He looks as though he's sort of stumbled into that one a little bit, but Wade's looking at 71 here. He's now, well, looking at tops instead.
31.
Well, he's chuntering away, Wade. He doesn't like missing tops.
I mean, well, he knows it was a great chance for a break as well. That said, Klaasen's not there yet.
33. James require 40.
Chance here then for Wade for the break for a 4-2 lead. Bit of daylight between these two. For the first time really in this match, that one is further away. That one will do very nicely indeed.
7-legged James to throw
Wade has
first.
the 4-2 lead. And Jelle Klaasen just left to ponder that missed opportunity.
I've been asked by many people, you know, do I think James Wade will get that world title?
100.
Got to say, I'm not sure. But what I will say is, if he does win one, I will probably be as impressed with him winning a world title from the period that he's been in the last couple of years. I'll be more impressed by him winning a world title than probably anybody.
100.
The people who come back from adversity and win big titles, they're the ones I'm impressed with. One of the reasons why I'm such a massive fan of Robert Thornton.
140.
He won the UK Open about 9 months after nearly dying. And he beat Phil Taylor in that final. And then he went through another lull.
60.
Then he came back and won the World Grand Prix against Michael van Gerwen in the final. Robert Thornton is the king of adversity and the king of the climbing of the mountain.
134.
We can all learn something from the great Robert Thornton.
And just looking at Wade, you know, I mean, you look at his CV, Premier League winner in 09, World Grand Prix winner on 2 occasions, Masters champion, World Match Play winner, 2-time UK Open champion as well. And people might just say, well, you know, he's won all that, maybe the World Championship is not meant to be. And I think from that point of view, that would make it extra special as well. Just when people were just writing it off as fate that, you know, he's won everything else bar this, and that's just the way it's going to be. So yeah, I see your point. That's very nicely done as well. He's
yellow to throw first.
Just clicking into gear here, James Wade, and well, Dan
98
beats that drum time and time again about the averages, doesn't he? His opponent's +1.
All you've got to do is beat the person in front of you.
I think it was actually -1 on Steve Beaton yesterday.
95.
Beaton actually had a 1 point higher average in the end.
I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, it's about 5 points between the two at the moment.
What I'll say about Jelle Klaasen, I think he understands, and even though he doesn't want to lose this match, he wants to win every match that he plays in. He is a work in progress right now. Even though surgery was a while ago, the new darts just taking their time to settle in. And if he wants to be back to hitting semi-finals and finals on the Euro Tour, that's what he's got to do. But the consistency will come with more time with the darts in his hand. He does understand that.
45.
And with that 14 next to his name, he's getting closer to dropping out of the seeds.
Yeah, he's very much in Alan Norris territory potentially.
168.
Although Norris came through his match earlier today. Norris still involved here this weekend, and he will face Michael van Gerwen in the third round.
100. He only require 8.
Double 4 for Klaasen. 2 twos. There it is. Still alive.
I think it's James to throw first. Game on.
Yella's one of those players who can rattle off legs really, really quickly. 3 legs he can win in probably about 6 minutes
140
in a fast game. He's going to need that now. Maybe his range is just starting to improve a little bit. His scoring and the grouping of the darts in the last 2 or 3 minutes has been exemplary.
Well, Klaasen didn't win a match here last year, by the way. He suffered a second round defeat by
140
Devin Peterson 6-4. James Wade also losing in round 2 to Dave Chisholm, although he came through qualifying for that one as well. So he did at least win a match here last year, and he already has a win under his belt here as well against Steve Beaton. So he's not in uncharted territory, but he's in a good shape here on his throw down to 1-2-1. Klaasen needs a big visit, and it might not be enough this, and that's certainly not enough.
No, he needed a ton there to leave a finish. He'd have preferred a 140, but treble 7 or that for double 18 for the contest.
85.
That was a little bit of a flyer, but he will be back. And with Klaasen on 210, there's a change in mentality for Wade. He would have gone treble 7 last year, but now it's double 18.
Yeah.
Game shot, and the match.
And there it is. Slightly delayed in his eventual crossing of the line, but a signal and a salute from James Wade, who secures his place in the third round. A very, very good performance, very solid stuff from James Wade. He looks a little bit downbeat, I suppose, but I'm not quite sure why. He's not celebrating any great extent. Jelle Klaasen and James Wade playing their part there. Jelle Klaasen bidding farewell, and James Wade goes on to face either Michael Smith or Darren Johnson in the last 16 tomorrow. James Wade certainly has to be considered here. He's playing well, and on that evidence, he was just too good for for Jelle Klaasen on that particular occasion. All smiles though for James Wade now, and we'll grab a quick word with him.
That was, I think it looked easier than it was, wasn't it?
That was not easy, you know, nerves, pressure, playing a great player like Jelle. But, you know, I nearly got into it, and I'm happy with how I played.
And you're happy about to reach the third round, so you're still in the race?
No real dart players happy unless they get to the latter stages. So we've got 2 or 3 games before we become happy.
So, thank you very much for being here, and good luck for the third round. Good to have you here. James Wade! Auch sagt, ja, es sieht immer einfacher aus.